What's up, guys? Ryan with Jet Patrol back. Another video today. J&D decided to do something cool. Let's check it out. By now, you have no doubt seen the J&D footage of their new 6-scale figure, whatever the hell they're calling it, and their partnership with Kojin. It looks pretty freaking awesome. And by now, you've seen 973 videos or live streams or a combination of both, and they've all said the exact same thing. So I'm going to try and not say the exact same thing, and we'll talk about my concerns about this, which I think are good and bad. There's both. But first, for those who may not have seen this, which is probably about 3 of you, let's kind of go through this thing and see what's going on. So it's only 90 seconds, so it's not a whole lot. And we'll talk about it. But Kojin works here by J&D Studios, action figure with technology patent. So they got this silicone technology going on. World's first. What a claim. What a claim. I guess Feisen didn't count. But pretty cool stuff as they're going to go through here. And they don't show everything, which I think is a little strange. I don't understand why they just didn't say, hey, here we go. They did this teaser thing. Which is beautifully manufactured. The production quality of the video is top notch, so I'm a fan of that. But let's pause this for 2 seconds. All right, so they show a couple things really quickly. The first thing being the silicone replication technology. And here we can see they've got the neck and they're stretching it and bending it and all that kind of stuff, and there's no joints, which I think is pretty cool. I'm a fan of that. I think that's pretty cool. Magnets in the eyes, which they're going to show the glass eyes a little later. And then they got magnets and they move those around. That's pretty cool. And then they've got, they're going to show us here in a little bit, is the skeleton, which you can see there in the background with the glass eyes in it, which looks weird. They could probably sell that. Somebody would probably buy that, honestly. They probably would. But let's fast forward here and let's take a look at this silicone neck and skin technology. I think it's pretty cool. So I'm a fan of it in general. I think it's a cool technology. I like that when let me pause this. I like that when they bent the neck, like it's stuck. And one of the things I was curious about is that silicone, and the hands don't do the same thing. The hands do something different. When they were moving the neck and it actually stayed where they wanted it to stay, that was cool. So they're doing something. I don't think it's like a normal 6-scale style peg. It's probably a metal wire tube, something like that. I don't know how they're actually doing it clearly. But the hands are a little different. So if you watch this, watch that hands. They articulate the hands and then they kind of go back to where they were on their own. So the wrist peg, I think is really cool. I think that's pretty sick. But he'll articulate the fingers, which I think is cool, but they kind of go back to where they want to go. So they kind of stay, and then they kind of want to. It's almost one of those things where you gotta bend it past where you want it to be, and it's got some bounce back, which I think is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's kind of cool. The glass eyes deal, I think, is needed in 6 scales, honestly, to bring that realism factor. So I'm a big fan of that. The fact that they blurred this out is just silly. It's just dumb. If you weren't ready to show this, why the hell are you showing this? That's stupid. The magnets and the moving eyes, I think is a pretty cool feature because we all know what Hot Toys has been doing the movable eye system for a while. Now they're making it pretty much mainstream. But you got to rip the head off to move the eye, and they're a joystick, and it's a pain in the ass. And honestly, I only mess with those while making videos. And most of the time, I don't even do that because I really don't care. I really don't. Now, if I get to a final pose and I think the eyes movement might help with the pose as it sits on the shelf, then yeah, I'll take the time to do that. But generally, it's not a feature I don't, it's cool to have and I like to have it, but it's not a feature I utilize. And you're probably the same way because it's just, it's not a user-friendly feature. Whereas this, I could see you going, hey, look, moving this thing with the little magnet, I can see that. So I think that's pretty much a game changer on that front, which other people like InArt has teased being able to do that, but they haven't quite done it yet. The other thing I noticed here, if you watch the skin around the eye, it actually moves, which is kind of funky, right? And then they're doing the rooted hair, which we've seen rooted hair. This looks fine. This doesn't look, whatever, it's rooted hair. It looks good. Is it accurate? Yeah, probably. So J&D Studios, let me back this up. Hyper real collectibles company with Kojin Works together making the 6 scale Joker. So I have some thoughts about this that I want to share that I haven't really seen talked about. So there's that. One, there's so many people speculating on what this is going to cost. It's going to be expensive, no doubt about it. Is that going to rule out people buying or canceling their orders of the Hot Toys Artisan Joker? I don't see that happening. The Artisan Joker is going to be limited, and people are going to buy that, and then the secondary market is going to do what it's going to do. Something like this, we have no idea how many they're going to make. We don't know how much of a pain in the ass it's going to be to get, because I can bet you they don't have a license to distribute in the States, just like InArt doesn't have a license to distribute in the States. And we all know what's going on with that, which is you're still waiting. Some of you are still waiting on Joker, and 90% of you are still waiting on the Gandalf. And then we've got Superman, we've got Aragorn, we got all these other things from InArt. I predict J&D is going to have the same problems. They're going to have a distribution problem, which means you and I are going to be stuck getting those whichever items we want to get through those channels that some of you like, some of you don't like, whatever. But it's not going to be as easy as going to your local retailer and picking one up. It's just not going to be that. Price is going to be high, no doubt about that. I don't have a problem with the higher price. I don't really care about the elevated price on something like this, because I think it warrants it. If the value is there, I think it makes sense. I do think there's a ceiling on how high a 6 scale figure should reasonably cost. You know what I mean? Because at some point you got to go, if I'm hitting $1,000, let's just speculate here. If I hit $1,000 for a 6 scale figure, at that point I'm going, I kind of would rather buy something else, right? I want to buy a statue. I might want to buy a collectible prop. I might want to buy get some autographs. I might want to buy something else. At some point you go, maybe not. Maybe I want to buy an autographed helmet, or maybe I want to buy some artwork, something like that. At some point it just goes, it don't make a whole lot of damn sense. Now, that's going to be different for different people. I've got friends out there who have more money than they know what to do with, and they probably wouldn't care. But most people are not like that, right? So you got to decide for yourself, how much is too much for a 6 scale figure, no matter how good it is. And this does look pretty good from the little tidbits they shared us. So I think there's some issue with that. The distribution channels, I think, is going to be a problem. I do. I'm not 100% certain. J&D hasn't come out and say this, but they're probably not even targeting the U.S. market. They're probably targeting the Korean market and their local Asian market, and that's pretty much it. That's their target market. And us over here are probably going, hey, look at us. And that's probably what's going on. We'll see. I haven't heard from them. We'll see. I don't know. So that's true. Distribution is going to be a problem. Pricing, some people are going to be priced out of this, which I think is fine. In any medium, in any consumer product, people are eventually priced out at certain tiers. You've got cars, you got entry level cars, you've got mid-tier cars, you got hyper cars, mega cars, you got all that kind of stuff. So at some point you get priced out, and that's capitalism. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Now, my third problem with this is, why the hell are we getting another Heath Ledger Joker? Is the DC universe so damn weak that all the manufacturers go, well, the only thing that makes us any money is Heath Ledger, Joker, and Dark Knight? Like, is the DC universe that damn just pathetic that that's it? that's all they can do is like, well, we're going to do another damn Joker. Is it? I don't get it. Like Star Wars, like we've got Clone Wars, we've got prequels, sequels, the original trilogy, obviously. Then we've got Rebels. We got all this stuff, all these characters, clones, all these different characters. That clearly, if they did this with an Anakin, or if they did this with a Princess Leia, something like on the Star Wars land, that would be one thing. But on the DC universe, a Peacemaker, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, what other character could they possibly do in the DC universe that would make them some money? That's just, I'm like, at some point you got to be Joker out. You're going to go, Well, I've got the Hot Toys Joker with the Artisan Joker or the Sculpted, whichever one you want. You got the NR Joker, which are damn good figures. And they're what, $1,000 for 2 figures if you get the rooted hair one. This one's probably going to be $800-900 for 1 figure. And we got to decide, is that bump in technology, are we worth, are we, is it worth that? I don't know what the answer is to that question. It's an individual thing. I do think it's kind of pathetic that, Warner Brothers and it's just pathetic that their depth chart is so weak that they've got one character to go on. It's terrible, man. Terrible. What the hell? So we'll see. There's not enough here. J&D, if you're going to do something, just do it. Now, there is a fourth problem I see with this, and I'm seeing it with InArt. Clearly, you're seeing it with InArt, and that is the manufacture time, right? Where you're getting small batches. So if I had to give any advice to J&D, don't do batches of figures. Don't do it. It's terrible for the consumers. It's just not good for the distributors because they're going, hey, I'm getting all these emails from the customers. If you're going to make 1,000 of these, make 1,000, ship the damn things. Okay? Don't do 50 and then this group gets 50 and then we're going to do another 50 and just don't. It's bad business. Just do it all. If you're concerned about quality control, then check your shit before you ship it. But just make all of them and ship them. The days of batches for these high-end figures, it's just bad business. So I would say, J&D, just a word of advice. Don't do that. That's just not good. Now, I think this is a pretty cool technology as far as the skin goes and the hands. I dig it. At the end of the day, I don't really care. The magnetic eyes, I like that. But the skin and the articulated, it's cool. I'm not excited by it. I got to be 100% honest with you. I'm just not excited by it. I have no doubt it's going to look amazing in person. I have no doubt about that. But when is good enough good enough? When is the level of realism? When is it? Maybe it's because they're doing Joker that I really don't give a shit about. Or maybe it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I've reviewed a lot of cool figures this year. A lot in years past, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of figures. At what point do you go, okay? I mean, what's the next thing? We're going to have blood pulsing through the veins of these things? I don't know. I appreciate innovation. I'm for it. But I'm also thinking, did we need that? Just because you could, they didn't think if they should. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below. We'll see. We'll see where this road leads. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It's Warner Brothers, DC thing. Licensing is going to be a thing. Distribution is going to be a pain in the ass. It's going to be expensive. We'll see where this journey takes us. Let me know your thoughts. As always, click the like. See you next time.